most of us are told some very detrimental lies about money, and I get it. It's what people have been taught before them, so of course it's what they're going to pass down. But what people don't understand is money is a great facilitator. Money doesn't say anything about who you are as a person. It doesn't mean that you're good. It doesn't mean that you're bad. And that's one of the biggest lies that people are told. People are told that money is the root of all evil. That definitely is not true. Money is the great facilitator. This is why the greatest charities in the world, what is the thing that keeps them alive? Money. So money can do incredibly good things. It can also do incredibly bad things. That's why I just say it's the great facilitator. I'm not saying whether it facilitates something good or bad, but what you do with it is going to determine its power. Money is potential. Once you understand that money is potential, now it just becomes a question of what exactly is it that you're trying to do with the money. And so getting people to get out of their own way around what money is critically important. And so I want people to really understand that it is the currency that facilitates things. When you think about your own life, would you go into work for free? And the answer is, no matter how much good people want to do in the world, to eat, to have a roof over your head, you're going to need money. To get other people to do the things that you want them to do, whether that's make food for you, whether that's fix roads, whether that's to create an after-school program, all of that requires money. It's just what we as a civilization have decided we're going to use as a way to manifest value, to store value, to transfer value across time and space. And so money is the way in which we sock away our energy and efforts. So you go to work, you work really hard, that's where you're putting your energy and effort. They then give you money. That allows you to carry that energy and effort across time so that as time passes, you have a way of planning for the future so that could buy you a loaf of bread tomorrow, it could buy you a house in 5 years, whatever the case may be. But understanding that money isn't something that was made up recently by the government in order to hold people back or to allow quote unquote rich people to take advantage of other people. What money is fundamentally is it is an entry in a database that allows you to store your efforts across time and space. Once you understand that, then you understand why I say that it's the great facilitator. Now, the other lie that people are told about money is that if you have a lot of it, you have either done something bad to acquire it or you're a bad person for acquiring a lot of it. But if money really is the way that we allow value to be carried across time and space, then somebody who's able to leverage their time well in a way that can be put into money and carried across time and space, they have shown that they have a level of efficiency with how they spend their time and energy. Because the way that you get money for doing something is by making things more convenient, by solving a problem for somebody, by making something easy that was previously difficult. You, in essence, if you're getting money, you have created something in the world that somebody would rather have that thing than that money. So for instance, in my own life, when we were building Quest, what we were trying to do is say, okay, there are people that want to eat cake, cookie, pies, ice cream, but they want to stay in shape. And so they want somebody to make food that they can choose based on taste, and it happens to be good for them. Now, the problem is that's very difficult to do, and it's very difficult to do at scale, and it's tremendously difficult to do at scale in a way that's shelf stable. And so we put 18 months just into formulation. We put an ungodly amount of time, energy, and money into actually building equipment. And then we had to hire people, train them how to actually produce the product, how to package it, how to distribute it, all of that, and how to do all of that at a price that it was cheaper for people to pay us the $2.50 or whatever to get that meal effectively, that they would rather have that product that we had created than that money. That money was actually worth less to them or equal amount to that product. And so now for us to do all of that work, to do all of that research, to pay all of those employees, to negotiate all of those contracts, to be consistent, to learn about health standards and practices in manufacturing food, we did all of that and turned it into something where people are like, word, I would gladly give you this money in exchange for that product. And understanding that, ultimately what you're doing is you're entering into a voluntary transaction where you've created something that people would rather have than their money. And so understanding then that somebody that has accumulated a lot of money has added a lot of value to the world. Now, of course, that's not always the case. And there are things where we're right to question whether that is something that we think is that valuable or not. But if it's happening on the open market is saying, yes, it is that valuable. That's why we're willing to do that. And so the area where people get most upset is in the area of finance. And so people look at bankers, they look at people that make money on Wall Street, and they say that isn't fair. Now, what I would say about that, the reason that people equate that, or that they've been told the lie that those people are evil, that they're doing something that's bad, is because they don't feel like they have access to that same system. And that brings me to another part. You're not just told lies. The other part about money that becomes problematic is people aren't taught basic financial literacy. And there was a quote, I forget who said it, but they said, this is somebody very, very wealthy, one of the famous names. Unfortunately, I don't remember who it was, but one of the famous names in money. And they said that if people understood how money actually worked, they'd be rioting in the streets. And that's because the way that the system of money works is people are kept in the dark about how money enters the system, how money exits the system, how assets work, how liabilities work. And because people are kept in the dark about that, then other people are able to use their superior knowledge in an open marketplace to garner more of the money. Or even worse, if the government is using money to either inflate the currency or to redistribute money, which basically is stealing from one person, and yes, I'm using that word very intentionally, to give to other people that have not earned that money, that creates all this contention about how the money should be used, where it should be going, right? There were people that were up in arms when the airline industry was bailed out, or the banks were bailed out in the 2008 collapse. But how many of us knew that the banks have actually paid that money back and the government's actually made money off of the loans that they gave to the banks? Right, guys? Learn how the game of money works. You really can master the game. You do not have to be beholden to anybody. I started out broke and I completely turned my life around. And I did it by mastering a set of ideas. And those ideas are available to you. We talked about them, many of them today. And may they serve you as well as they have served me. Until next time, my friends, be legendary. Take care. Peace.
If you're looking to start a new side hustle or even a new business, check out the link in the description below.